Alrighty, thanks everyone. Thanks for joining. I've got Marie Speakman here with us today. Thanks so much for joining us, Marie.
Thanks for asking me, Leon. It's great to catch up with you again.
Yes, and I think this is going to be a really special episode because Marie has been an accountant and now she's an AI consultant for accountants. So, a very different perspective than what most people are thinking of when they're thinking AI. I think maybe the last thing on their mind is accounting. But what we're going to go through today is how AI is transforming accounting specifically today. And so, the first question I have for you is, Marie, why should an accountant even care about AI?
The first thing, there's a massive skill shortage within the industry. I speak with a lot of recruitment companies, and we've got this massive skill shortage. Um, Plus, we all know now it's not going away. So we've got to really to get on it and see what's available and be curious about AI.
So you're saying basically there's not enough accountants, I guess. You're located in the EU, right? And so there's not enough, I guess, certified accountants, or kind of how does that work in the EU?
It's a mixture because what's compounded it really was during COVID. They didn't take on a lot of firms didn't take on trainees, so we've got a knock on effect from that where trainees would have then stepped up into say finance managers. We've got this knock on effect.
Interesting. Very interesting. So tell me, why is it important to even have the accounting skill set? A lot of people are saying with AI, we're able to learn whatever we want. But, it's my personal belief that combining AI with subject matter experts is kind of the future. It's not just going to be all AI, but from your perspective, as someone who's been an accountant, why is having that experience of an accountant important?
You've got to be able to check and validate what the AI is doing. But we're not going to say just in the instance of bookkeeping, we still need qualified bookkeepers. We still need people who know what to do, but we don't need as many because we can get AI. We can take the robotic out of our own roles and the bookkeepers' roles. Then they become the validators of the data. And so you still need that knowledge. We cannot validate if we don't have that knowledge.
Interesting. Very interesting. Um, you talked about kind of the skill shock and the lack of accountants. But one thing that I'm curious about is what is the reception to AI like? Are people receptive to this in the accounting field?
Well, it's been quite an interesting space to be in because I've been in this space for 3 years, and 3 years ago, I felt like everybody thought I was this crazy woman talking AI and going to meetings. But since the rollout of ChatGPT, the interest is there, the curiosity is there, and people are like, now more. And as accountants, we're very prudent people. So, but yeah, it's made a massive difference, ChatGPT. But that's not what it's not everything, as you know. ChatGPT is just a part of AI. It's a massive field.
So, what do you feel is holding people back from kind of experimenting with AI as accountants right now?
I think it's not knowing really. I think we've got a lot of people talking AI, but as we know, it's a big field, it's a big subject. Accountants, and they need to know how they can apply it, what we can do, what can it do, what results can we achieve, and how do we apply it. And then being accountants, we really have to kind of get under the stones and find out really, is this all right? Is it safe? Is it ethical? Does it the standards that we work by?
So,
And there's a lot of
how do you explain AI to an accountant, or maybe someone who's been doing accounting for 20 or 30 years? They're probably pretty proficient in Excel and in bookkeeping software, but certainly not someone necessarily that you would think of as super tech savvy or an early adopter. What types of words really resonate with them when you're talking about AI?
the thing that resonates is when, as a finance professional, and I've been there, we're very time restricted because we work, like, say, to a year end, a month end, a quarter end, so we're very time restricted. So really getting the robotic mundane taken out of our processes and getting time for the things that we love, the strategic, the advisory, that is where we can really kind of help accountants to do that.
So, what's your kind of take on this? Because you're saying, there's a lot of, I don't know if junior accountants is the right word, but younger, early stage accountants, and maybe they don't have as much strategic experience, but AI is going to kind of take them straight into the strategy. How do you think that's going to play out?
I think there'll still be those stages that we need to learn. When you're accounting professional, you've still got to know the mechanics behind. That's part of the training, part of the study. So we'll always have that, and then it's how AI plays a part in that. But as we said earlier, we've still got to be the validators of the data. So there is that knowledge and that know-how that we never, is always going to be needed.
So let's talk a little bit now about tangibles and specifics. What are the areas that you're seeing AI actually make a tangible difference in accounting? And if you could give a couple examples, that would be great.
Yeah, I think I like to start with the basics because the bookkeeping is the foundation of the accounts. So we've got some great tools that take care of the bookkeeping. So straight into your email or wherever you say supplier invoices, just as an example, get those posted directly. We can use a traffic light system to say, this is good, this might need some looking at, this is a red. So we use a traffic light system. And these bookkeeping agents is probably a good word for them, is they just learn it. They're going to learn on the data, but we will be the validators of the data.
Gotcha. And, a question that I've had that I think everyone's really thinking about is, if you're a young person today in the world of AI, knowing what you know, what do you do? And so, if you were 25, 30 years old today, how would you position yourself as an accounting professional, knowing what you know about AI going forward?
Yeah, I think it's really exciting time, and I speak to accountants, and it's a time where they can actually transition into, I'm not say a tech. I don't know if tech's the right word. CIO. We need new terminology actually within the profession. So an accountant who works with AI, I think that's something that I need to think about and come up with, because I do think we're going to have this transition. You've got the people who are already in the profession, and they're in a great position because they're actually trusted. They know the company, so they're in a great position to transition into an AI strategic role.
Interesting. So do you feel like their people are still going to be doing what people think of as hands-on accounting work, or is it more directing AI, which then does the accounting for you and then you check it back?
Yeah, we'll definitely get to, at the minute, I think it's going to be a lot quicker than digital, because digital took quite a lot of time within the accounting profession. I think it's going to be quicker than that. But yeah, it's just looking at those processes. What can we not be doing so that we can be doing the strategic and the advisory and being finance business partners? That's what businesses need and want. They need, and getting from behind the desk and being the communicators rather than the robots. I think we've lost that in accounting. We've got a lot of accountants who do kind of out behind the screen.
I think that's a really interesting perspective. And you've talked a lot about more the automation side of the accounting. But I'm curious, I use ChatGPT and Claude for analysis, and especially analysis of lots of pages of text. And, I don't do a ton of bookkeeping or accounting, as you know, but I can imagine, when I think of tons of pages of text, I think of 10Ks and corporate reports and publicly traded financials. And for me, what I do with that is I plug that into ChatGPT and start asking questions for analysis. Are accountants using AI to augment and speed up their analysis of company financials today?
I think there's a bit of a grey area with companies allowing ChatGPT to be used because obviously it's
Mhm.
open source. So can we, I would say the best uses are when we're actually training our own on our own data.
Interesting.
That is the way to go. Not, I mean, ChatGPT, yeah, it's great. I use it. I don't know what I'd do without it now, but for me, it's open source, and I would be not be putting any of my own kind of data in that. If it's anonymized, then great. But
Gotcha. So the
yeah,
issue for analysis today is the data privacy and, trusting companies to properly handle information. That's a really good insight. And I think that kind of leads me to you've kind of started a relationship with an accounting AI company, and I'd love to hear more about what they do.
the the accounting the AI partner that I partner with,
Mhm.
or the accounting company.
I think it's called Jack AI, if that's right.
Oh, Jack, yeah, Jack. Yeah, so I'd been really I've worked with AI companies for the last 3 years, but I'd been really searching for a product. And um, this this year, like January, I was approached by the founders of Jack, and together with accountants and bookkeepers, we've started at the very basic, the supplier invoices, and now it's a matter of developing that. But it's being developed for accountants with accountants, which gives accountants that comfort and that knowing that the product is we are gonna the things that I spoke about before, the ethics, the standards,
Mhm.
they're all going to be included.
So, what are kind of two or three things that people are using Jack AI for today? I know you said like supplier invoices, but what is kind of the key concept of the product?
The key concept is that it can just go. Before, accountants were using data capture software,
Hmm.
so you had to then scan the invoices in. So instead of being a two-step process, now Jack can monitor your email inbox, your supplier invoices, retrieve that data, um, and then it's ready to be published. And then, I mentioned before the traffic light system. So you just go down, you see the traffic lights, and if you're happy, it's published. So it's all about taking steps out of processes. This is as far as Jack's got, and this is what I like about it. It's not like let's bring a product that's going to do everything
Hmm.
all at once. It's like let's get this bit, the actual foundation of the accounting right, and then we can move on. The next thing will be bank reconciliations, payments, but this is the other thing why I'm a big fan of it, because it is just let's really nail this first before we move on to something bigger.
Well, I feel like that's a great approach that, like you said, not every company is taking because some people are just shoving AI into every product, and then some companies are putting AI at the heart of a workflow, and that's what it sounds like Jack is doing. Is it saying, "Hey, we know every accountant has this very specific workflow, and we know that this workflow could be better optimized for a lower error rate, less human time on keyboard, and the human time on keyboard is not actually adding much value. It's actually introducing the potential of errors, probably at a rate greater of computers." And I don't think, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think many accountants love scanning their email and processing invoices every day. It's a drag. And so if you can take the drag out of it and earn the trust of the user, then you're going to be able to build greater features in the future with, a more exploratory look, right?
Yeah, and they, the bookkeepers will always be the validators, and because of the shortage, it's great that we can actually, get them doing what, using their skill set, because at the minute they probably aren't. They can do a lot more within the accounting function.
Interesting. That's really fascinating. And I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today because I think it's so important that we connect with subject matter experts who are using AI and understanding that, AI is not replacing the good parts of your jobs. It's actually coming to take the parts of your job that you like the least, right? I mean, that's the whole premise with Jack AI.
Yeah, making us less robotic. Like I said, if you speak to any finance professional, time is the thing. It's like we're all time, always short of time.
Hmm.
So to actually be able to take out, copy and paste in spreadsheets into you mentioned before too, I think I only mentioned one, which was Jack, but the actual reporting that we can now get where all your, because we would have, say, a lot of companies are working on multiple spreadsheets, whereas we've got products now that will pull everything into one data lake.
Hmm.
So you haven't got multiple versions. That's always your worry when you, as an accountant, that, is the different versions of my spreadsheet
Yeah.
knocking around. But with the using AI, we can actually pull that all into one data lake, into one source, and then the reporting's done from there. The other thing it does as well is, say you're a director of that company, and you would say, come to me and say, I need this report. I wanted, what if this happened? The what ifs, the predictive. With AI, you could actually do that yourself. You could say, what if we put 10% on our sales, or we took headcount from here? You can actually ask that as long as that data is good.
Sure.
So we're empowering other people within the company, not just accountants, to use the reporting and to get more
Well,
scenarios.
it's making high quality data more accessible. And I think
Yeah,
I love that because, yeah, today, if you're an executive or a vice president and, you got to go to your accountant and ask, run these numbers, and then they've got to, like you said, find the right version that's up to date. And most spreadsheets aren't literally up to date, up to the minute. And so things are changing, rapidly for every company every day. But if you could have access to that data all in one source and query it just with natural language. Imagine being in a board meeting and someone's trying to
yeah,
make an argument. They're saying, hey, we need to drop prices 10%. And we're able to kind of model that, right? It's not a perfect expectation of reality, but no one expects accountant models today to be perfect expectations, anyways, but really see and interact with kind of the fundamental business model in a natural way. That is like really exciting to me.
yeah. It just, I thought, and I've been in those board meetings as the management accountant, and I'm thinking, oh, if I'd have that, if I'd have had this, and then we could have, and then I could have actually shown them there and then, instead of it being, because a lot of it's been historical as well.
Hmm.
But now that we're able to work in real time, this is also the massive bonus within finance that we've got.
Yeah. I think it's going to be really transformative stuff. And what's special is AI is a general purpose tool and it's permeating every industry slowly but surely. First kind of taking, the monotonous or the routine tasks, but the second thing that it's doing that's really exciting is it's helping people make higher quality, better informed decisions. And that's where we want to put the human in the loop is the decision maker. But if we can do that with AI informed data and processes, then we're going to not only make higher quality decisions, we can get to those decisions faster, right? And that has ripple
Yeah.
effects for the entire enterprise.
Plus things that we would never even have thought about. AI is going to
Mm,
go, did you think about this? Have you seen,
that's a great
if you
point.
think about all the different layers that we've got, like seasonal, it can be
Discounts.
too much for modeling, but
Yeah.
with AI, it can go, oh, have you thought about this? Have you thought about increasing your price there, or this is, that this is your best line and it was at this time. Oh, it'll be fantastic for businesses and affordable. That's the other thing I love about AI. It's not restricted to the big companies. You'll be able to just afford this and then others can't. So
I love that. I think that's a great point. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time today. This has been a really helpful and interesting conversation on how AI is changing the world of accounting and bookkeeping. And even amidst, skill shortages, it's allowing accounting companies and individuals to do more in less time and make higher quality decisions. So I think the future is really bright for the intersection of AI and accounting.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Yes.
And people should be excited about it.
That's awesome. Well,
Definitely.
thank you so much, Marie, and really appreciate it. It was great having you.
Thanks, Leon. Thanks for asking me. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.